Hi, Cass, from Rockin D on the Ridge, and I want to go through a cut sheet today. So when you have the option to buy bulk beef, you get to choose exactly which cuts that you want. And in this, you have options like the weight of your roast. Generally like 2 or 3 pounds is what a roast weighs. And so we want to make sure that you are getting your choice. Also steak thickness. It can be half an inch thick, 3/8 of an inch thick, an inch and a half thick, 4 inches thick. We want to know what you want for your steak thickness. And then like how many of that are in a package. If you are getting New York strips and fillets, maybe you want 2 per package. Maybe you live by yourself. If you want just 1 per package, you can request that specifically. Our processors have a kind of a range of how they package ground beef. You can get 1 pound, 2 pound. We even have a processor that does 1.5 pounds, which is my personal favorite. Patties, they charge extra for patties, but some people think that's worth it. And then things like soup bones or tenderized round steak. We want to know like what how you prefer it. And then we want to make sure that you're getting as much as you think you're getting. So generally we price it on hanging weight. It's priced with all of your harvest fees and processing fees. Is all included in your price. So you're not paying 2 people for one thing. So I want to kind of make sure that that's what we're looking at, what you think we're looking at as far as price goes, because some people are used to paying a processing fee and a fee for their beef. So we want to make sure that you're getting what you think you're getting. All right, now, crud. So we have a wonderful few processors that we use. And I want to just share with you right now a beef chart. Okay. So this chart is amazing. It kind of starts orienting you with where each cut comes from on the cow. The rib, the short rib, the rib, you get ribeyes out of the rib. You can get rolled rib roast. This is where tomahawk steaks come from, but you only get or prime rib. Like that's what like a rolled rib roast is, the inside, the center of the prime rib. It's that super tender, really marbled, really like flavorful, best part on the cow, melts in your mouth, falls apart. And then you've got beside your rib, you've got your loin, and then the loin in your rump, your round. The chuck is a pretty like beefy part. The rump is a beefy part, but those mid sections are very tender sections. So and then you have your they say variety meats. But oxtail is seriously one of my most favorite things on the cow. Heart is just like a roast. Like once it's cooked, it's pretty much just like a rump roast. Texture wise, flavor wise, you don't know any different. What you do is just boil it in a big pot until it just opens up. And then you put whatever you were gonna cook like a roast, you cook it like a roast after that. Slice it, whatever. I don't do kidney and I don't do liver. I still get them because I do know how to cook them and my husband likes it, my dad likes it. Tongue, also another very good cut. I generally make tongue tacos. I put it in a pressure cooker with taco seasoning and water, let it go for 90 minutes, and then go ahead and take it out, peel it, dice it up, but it's almost brisket texture or like chuck roast texture, somewhere in them between the two. Short ribs, beef ribs are really fatty. They're great for smoking. Some people will like just cook them in the crock pot, but is what it is. The brisket, you can kind of see like the shape of it. Oh, arm roasts are, I like this because it kind of tells you how to like cook it: braise, roast, broil, pan broil. Anywhere that says pan broil or broil, that's high heat, and I would just grill it. Anything that says braise, I put in the pressure cooker. So it's just I cook a little differently than what it says to do with it, but that's okay. The T-bone, the porterhouse, the club steak, these four are very sought after. The T-bone, when broken down, makes the fillet, which is this side, and the New York strip, which is the side. And then you have your porterhouse, same deal. And then the sirloin is just one really big steak. Huge. I like that in a roast. I think it's the best. The best roast. It's right up there with chuck, in my opinion. Some people like the rump, but I always pressure cook the rump. It's a little tougher. And I usually get not round steak, but roast. And then I have stew meat done. I pressure cook it and can it. And I've even started doing meatballs, canned meatballs. So things you can do with food is just amazing. Yeah. These are all your cheaper cuts that you can get like real cheap. And these are all your primals. A lot of them bone in. Bone in adds flavor. That's why I get T-bones instead of New York strips and fillets. So I love a good fillet. Heck yeah, I love a good fillet. Some people are really finicky about paying for bone. But there's a lot you can do with bone too, other than just have bone. So, all right, I'm gonna get into this cut sheet. The arm roast is an option that you can get in whatever pound ground or whatever weight roast you want, or you can put it into the grind, put into your ground beef. The chuck, again, you can do a roast, or you can't. It makes a pretty good steak. It's got a very different texture profile. That's kind of a combination of like all of the cuts I've ever had in a steak form. The very center of it is really tender, kind of like a fillet or a good market steak. The chuck steak I would have cut anywhere from like 3/4 to an inch. My personal preference is 7/8. Or you can put it in the grind. You can, you can grind whatever you want, but I'm gonna suggest if all you want is booger, ground beef. If all you want is ground beef, um, we need to be having a conversation. Yeah. Sirloins. Um, there's sirloins and then there's sirloin tips. The tips are a little more tender. So sometimes those are broken down on the cut sheet, sometimes they're not. So if you want just the tips or you want a tip roast and then you want sirloin steaks or however you want it, like that's doable for whatever cut sheet. If I don't ask and that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Okay, so you either get T-bones and porterhouse steaks or you get New York strip and fillets. Those are your options when it comes to the loin. Yep. And then we'll need to know how thick you want those. And you don't have to have both the same thickness. Like maybe you want a thinner T-bone and a thicker porterhouse, or a thicker fillet and a thinner New York strip. That's totally common. A fillet and a porterhouse is really a really high-end steak. Both are, of which oftentimes are a thicker cut, especially fillets because they're a smaller steak. It's a smaller steak. They cut it thicker to get like a portion, a good sized portion. Your sirloin tip, again, you can do that in roast steaks or grind. You can get your flank steak or grind it. Same with short ribs. You can get short ribs or you can throw them in the grind. You have the option of getting cube steaks, which the only thing I can think to do with cube steaks is chicken fried steak. If you have more recipe ideas for a cube steak, please put them in the comments. And I usually get 2 per package on the cube steaks. They're always like tenderized really nice, and you just roll them in flour and throw them in the fryer. Round steak is really good for Swiss steak, tenderized for Swiss steak. Those are really good. But you can throw it in the grind. You can get them not tenderized, however you want them. With enough marinade, they'll turn out fine as a grilled chunk of beef. Your rump roast, you can get those in whatever weight, or you can grind stew meat. Something I never got because I can beef and my stew meat goes in the jar. So, you just need to know how many pounds you want essentially, or how many packages that you want and what the weight. Ground beef, 1 pound, 2 pound option. And then if you want burger patties, they're 40 cents a pound. You can get 1/3 pound or 1/4 pound patties. So if you do 1/3 pound patties, you have 3 per package. If you do 1/4 pound package, you'll have 4 per package. Oh, or you can pick some odd number per package, apparently. I didn't know that. I just realized that. Brisket, usually they'll cut them into point and flat for me. So it's a little more manageable to go in your deep freeze. And then heart, liver, tongue, oxtail. Let me know what you want of that. Don't put those in your grind. Or kidney. Don't put kidney in your grind either. Soup bones. You can get soup bones too. Okay, so those are your options for the cuts. And it'll all be based on weight. So ours have been weighing right around 750 per carcass. And then those dress out at about 60 to 70%, somewhere in that range. Then that'll give you your total bring home. And then your cut sheet that you get at the locker when you pick up your meat will tell you how many packages you have of each and your total pounds weight coming home. So generally I figure it at box beef, USDA choice box beef pricing plus the prime premium, which is somewhere around $3 per hundredweight. And then so it's gonna be per pound, and then add on your processing fees, and then that's how we figure out the pricing. That's how we figure it based on how you eat. So if you have any more questions, you can comment below. You can shoot us an email at rockandontheridge@gmail.com. You can go to rockandontheridge.com and submit a contact us form. You can call us at the office at 217-659-7832. We're in and out a lot. So if you don't catch us in the office, please leave a message. We will give you a call back as soon as we get back in the office. We're even in now on the weekend sometimes, so you might hear from us around that time. I think that covers cut sheets. And if you want on the beef waiting list, check the just the descriptions below for some links for some items and ideas and recipes and whatever. So thank you. Have a great day.